Not the chuddle.
Chuddle. Surprise.
Whoa.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Fuck good. If what the actual fuck was a movie, out of the mist and into the fog, it's Chuddle the Pod. Hello, and welcome to a brand new meeting of Chuddle the Pod, where horror movie lovers have a feel-good time. We always keep it spoiler-free up top, so you can decide whether or not you want to see it before the spoilers come crawling out of the mortuary and go on the prowl for human flesh. And in this episode, we're going to Chuddle 1991's The Boneyard. But before we get into that, it's a club meeting, so we should probably do a head count. Sam?
What's up?
Brian?
Huh?
Perfect. God, that went almost too smoothly. Before we begin, I must take a moment to thank our coven of patrons. Your sacrifice gives us life, and we thank you for your beautiful souls.
We thank you, beautiful souls. Sorry.
Thank you, beautiful souls. Your dedication and feverish fanfare makes us want to record, and your monetary contributions keep the internets and streaming ships afloat. Joining our Patreon for exclusive voting rights to movies, suggestions on what we're going to cover, a private Discord to chuddle with other coven members, and a goo geyser of old episodes, exclusive episodes, and now videos of the Chuddlemen getting weird? That's all real? That's we're giving all that away?
Well,
I mean,
we're
not
selling
giving
it.
away, but I mean,
We're not giving it away. We're selling that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank God.
They're getting this for free, which is nice. But
they're getting this for free. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
The patrons have had the chance. They've seen our beautiful faces now. That you've even seen in the Discord if you're in the Discord now. But all that's coming. That's
very true.
Don't worry. Real people are going to get some video stuff too. Our getting to know those interview stuff. That's for real people as well. Mm-hmm. Real people. I don't know. I'm calling like real people versus the coven. So we're on a whole nother level, man.
Yeah, the coven.
No,
exactly.
I mean, you're not far from the mark. I mean, we've got people, and then we've got the coven. And I'm not going to say the coven are better than normal people.
It's like you got the party and then the real party.
The real party.
It's the mullet. We're the mullet of podcasts. I mean, we're our business up front.
That's very true.
Right here. And then you want to go to the coven, we're coven in the back.
Coven in the back. Now, with all the club members present and the coven avowed. Oh, club members, not coven members. The coven isn't here.
Nope.
Well, I mean, they're probably here
Just
in
us.
their ear holes, but like not physically here.
Metaphysically here.
Metaphysically, they are here. Hey, I think it's time to crack open that goo book and officially begin tonight's meeting.
Give me that goo. Oh, yeah.
I just made one button to do it all now, baby.
I saw that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw that you were like.
I was like, look, his hands free.
I said, look, ma, no hands.
Exactly.
Look, no hands. I made this goo book with one button.
He did it with his wiener.
Alrighty, our goonopsis for this splatterfest is: children turned into zombies wreak havoc in a coroner's building with just a burned out psychic, an experienced cop, and two coroners to stop the madness.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think their numbers are off, but I mean,
sure, it almost gets too specific.
It was two cops, one coroner,
just
and then like a
and those inside.
Yes, right. And our taglines: dare to enter, try to leave. The dead come alive with a vengeance.
Is that one?
All right.
That's one thing?
That's one of them.
That's
one thing. And then some things should stay dead.
Sure.
All right.
I mean, why not?
And now
I should say
and
all things should stay dead. I mean, if it's dead, leave it be.
It should probably stay dead. That's kind of just more of a thing.
If you just died.
This is kind of a weird one because this isn't necessarily a spoiler for the movie, but this is from one of the behind the scenes things. There was two covers to this film, the horror one, and then the poodle insert that made this movie more of a horror comedy. And the poodle insert tagline is, just keep repeating, it's only a poodle. It's only a poodle.
That's an interesting choice. But yeah, that's the yellow slip cover. I read about that too. Yeah, VHS stores had the choice of how they wanted to promote this video to people. Like as a straight up horror or as a comedy. And well, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Movies are made by people and poodles sometimes, and the people that made this movie are...
You think the poodle made this?
Movies directed.
I love the poodle movie.
Well, I mean, the poodle... I mean, I said sometimes. I didn't say the poodle made this movie.
Right, but there are movies made sometimes by poodles,
a dog might make a movie.
I want to see that one.
That can be your next
Whatever
pick,
that
Ross.
is.
Excuse me, have you ever seen Air Bud?
That was made by a poodle?
Well, a poodle produced it. It was mostly Labradors that were,
I feel like this can be fact-checked pretty quickly, Ross.
Might be true.
Careful.
I'm not here about the facts. I'm here about the goo.
Might be true. Let's check the IMDb trivia.
That's true.
This movie was directed and written by James Cummins. Now, obviously, we're going to get heavily into it. He actually worked under Stan Winston, which makes a lot of sense with the special effects that are throughout this movie. 100%. Some of our key players in the film are Ed Nelson as Jersey Callum, Deborah Rose as Allie Oates. We've got Norman Fell as Shepard, James Oosterman as Gordon Mullen, Denise Young as Dana, Willie Stratford as Marty, Phyllis Diller as Miss Poopenplatz, Robert Young Juan as Chen, and Richard F. Brophy as Mac.
It's a big cast.
Wow. That was okay. So I just want to make a quick note. That was the smoothest I went through a cast probably in podcast history. Just saying. I think I might have stuttered once, but I didn't butcher that.
As long as they have some solid
going to hell.
American names.
No, I even fuck up the American
Smith.
names. Like that's I think it's time for the good old.
It's time for the gore.
Fatality.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, Psycho to the Sadness, how gory is this film, Sam?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'm gonna have to go. It feels high for me right now, but who knows? At a 3. 1 for consistency and 2 for intensity.
Really?
Yeah.
We're here again? I thought I recalled more intense gore. Am I wrong?
A lot.
Is there dismemberment or embowelment that Ross remembers that isn't there again? Are we in another Fido situation? Did we not avoid the time loop? Are we doing this again? God damn it, guys.
Oh my God, what? Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, I had mine actually, you know what, Brian? What did you have yours at?
Honestly, that one's a little tough. I was placing it probably around a 6 or something like that, but maybe because that's like a 4 for intensity and 2 for consistency. I don't feel like there was a lot, but I might be over remembering it now. So it was a while since I did my watches on this one, so I don't remember how high it was sitting. But I thought I remembered more. So again, go on, Ross.
Yeah, no, I had a what was it? I had it at a 5.5. I had it at a 3 for intensity and 2.5 as like consistency. But I was because of our Fido episode, is that like I kind of took the corpse children out as the you know what I mean? Like I kind of bumped, because originally my first score was around a 6.5. So I kind of like shrunk it a little bit, but like I'm kind of in that boat. I'm like in the 5 to 6 range.
Maybe it's zombie blind, like, or so whatever.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it. I mean, the problem is we can't talk about it now.
We can do whatever the hell we want.
Okay.
Yeah,
but we won't talk about
it. But we're not going to.
Who is the horror forward?
Alrighty, starting with subgenres. What kind of subgenres is this falling into, guys?
Fuck if I know. Weird movies. A weird thing. Zombie,
cool.
So I was gonna say zombie movie. I mean,
Morgue freaks,
the last fifth of the film.
Freak.
I guess if you're looking for like special effects. If you're looking for like some like kind of creature effects, like some really kind of like I don't
creature
know.
feature. This is a great creature feature movie. If you're into like bigger, at least the last fifth of the movie, like it's got the effects are just insane in this movie.
Get them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say supernatural horror.
Yeah.
I guess technically it's kind of like a demon movie. The creatures are Kyoshis, which is a actual ancient style of demon. So yeah, that kind of stuff. All right, are we watching this with a group or are we watching this alone?
I think that would be the best way to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, better than alone.
I that's what I'm saying. I think this is not. It did not benefit it to watch it alone.
Yeah, I would say definitely with like a group would probably suit this movie fairly better than watching alone. Although I did enjoy watching it alone, but I actually was like looking around because like I was like, man, this would be so much fun to yak with other people with. Is this a beginner movie?
No, I just because I say, I mean, it's so. You know what? It could be. It could be for the right point in your time, but I feel like it has to be like something you catch on TV when you're young. Like you have to be really young, catch this on TV, and be like, "What is?"
Does anybody know what this movie was? Where there was this, like,
I don't know if it lends out to today's standards, but like like there'd be like back when we were kids, if there's like nothing else to do, and like you're like, well, I guess. There's a movie on TV, so
I'm gonna watch whatever's on UPN this afternoon.
Yes. Well, it does. I mean, that does make a lot of sense because this is a direct-to-video horror film, so this never saw a theater. So this would be like, if you caught it in syndication as a beginner, like this would probably be, it's probably right up your alley. Yeah, I think, I kind of agree with you guys. I feel like you almost have to be like journeyman horror to get like it's I don't know. It's in this really weird. It's not schlocky enough to be super schlocky, but it's not serious enough to be. It's I don't know. I feel like you got to watch some schlocky ones and you got to watch some serious ones, and then you'll get the middle ground that is the bone.
It seems like it could have been written as a comedy, and the director chose to make it seriously. But it's the same writer and director, so
Well, we'll get there in a minute.
Totally. Do you guys hear that?
Oh, I do hear that. It's very quiet, but it sounds like the Mothman.
So what is our Harbinger of Doom saying for this one? I had that it's kind of heavy on child death themes, suicide, autopsies, and if you don't like poodles, you're in for a doozy.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't like poodles, you'll like it, but if you like poodles, you might... But still, even then, it's like for someone who was worried about the dog always, I was not in this instance.
Yes.
Probably because I've seen the cover.
Right.
So I knew what was.
Well, the cover makes it
happen.
seem like this is going to be like a super schlocky, like ridiculous film.
Speaking of the
like,
cover,
like a demon poodle? What, possessed poodle?
Well, you see the demon
something?
Poodle face. But the poodle hair confused me because I always thought it looked more like Santa Claus hair.
Oh,
yes.
So what is this sort of
a dog and a Santa
dog, evil Santa dog? So, needless to say, kind of disappointed in that aspect.
Totally.
Yeah, it wasn't a Christmas movie.
Not an evil Santa dog.
But I mean, there's obviously it's all related to the three children, but otherwise, I don't think it's even that it's not that heavy.
I have a vomit.
Right.
There's some vomiting, right?
There is some vomiting. There is the only reason why I say heavy on the child death is that like there is like a full like they don't do an autopsy, but they do like there is a very heavy like I don't know like did you see some shit with kids?
Yeah. And a crappy movie.
All right, and on that note, let's hop the bodies back. Let's get the body bags in the back of the car because we have to get to the mortuary on our
spoiler zone.
All right, so let's get into the IMD behind the scenes Now, we already kind of like talked about this. The VHS rental came with 2 boxes, one promoting it as a horror and one as a comedy, lovingly known as the Yellow Poodle box. The comedy box slips right on top of the horror box. The
it's
fact
like
that you like a Jello, the fact that they gave fucking video stores 2 distinct options. We're like, hey, well, you can play it straight.
That
but if you got
speaks to
comedy,
the tone deafness of this movie.
Exactly.
Yes,
that's exactly the problem.
Absolutely. Funny enough, it was shot in 5 weeks. The filming of the movie actually began with a wedding scene between Gordon and Dana that was to become the end of the actual movie, and that scene was never used. So they filmed it, they shot it, and that was the first thing they shot, and then they decided, like, fuck it, we're not even gonna go with that. Writer-director James Cummins reportedly wrote the part of Gordon Mullen with actor James Oosterman in mind for the role. I guess they're friends and stuff like that. And this is just a really weird one. When the Poopinplatz creature uses the medical tray to deflect gunshots, the slugs are pushing out from behind, like it's wrong, like it's flipped around. So like they're like, there's honestly not a lot. That's pretty much it. There's going to be like maybe 1 or 2 more that I'm going to be sprinkling into the movie. But
I saw another piece of trivia that the movie was actually named after your mom's house. Oh.
God,
nice.
that's the premium content that you could pay for.
You should have saved that to the end. Now everyone's going to leave the episode.
Oh shit. Sorry.
It's gonna drop
it's all
from
downhill
there.
from here. I mean, how could he already got your mom's is the boneyard?
Boneyard. Come on. I've
been waiting for it.
We're gonna dog ear this.
Take long.
Do you know how hard? Do you know how hard it was? Do you know how hard it was not to write a sequence of dick jokes?
Right? Totally.
For this goddamn episode with like the name of the movie being called The Boneyard. I felt like it was good.
No,
Who picked it? Why in history? I picked this because I'm going to be telling you honestly, I'd never seen the movie before, and I saw that goddamn poodle on the poster, and I had to cover it sight unseen. I've never seen this before. Mm-hmm. I just was like, the Boneyard poodle. Let's try it.
Oh man, I'm seeing the Sirius poster for the first time, and it is quite different.
Oh
yeah,
very
Indeed.
Tonally different.
Exactly.
I knew it was sight unseen for you, same boat, and by the poster you had sent us of the poodle, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun, like we might be onto something here. And then I watched it and was like, man, not even. Because it's weird, like we'll talk about it because there's some it's not entirely unsuccessful, you know what I mean? But
no, exactly. I think yeah, I agree with the poster. It's something I always recognize and I'd seen before, but again, it felt like it would be a schlocky wild ride, but I never got drawn into it to actually go on that ride. And yeah, that's it. I don't know if I feel like I only remember the poodle version. Maybe I've seen the different cover of it, but you don't remember the other cover. It's just like a head with like a hand.
Yeah, it's basically like half zombie Phyllis Diller, like just like with her weird front like face with like partial hand. I mean, if I was a video store clerk and I had the choice of that versus a poodle, I would the poodle wins every single time. No, I think that is a consistent and really weird theme of a not theme in this movie, is that like it plays itself too serious to be schlocky and it's too schlocky to be serious, and it's in this horror uncanny valley for me where it's like it doesn't hit the mark on either one, so it just makes me feel like brr. I don't know. You know what? Hell, let's get into it.
Let's do it. That should be the job.
the movie. All right,
tone loc.
So from Jump Street, we get Weird Wind and Whip's musical intro. So I'm immediately thinking schlock central because like the beginning of it is like whoosh, and like whoosh, 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 where I'm like, oh, okay. So I got a poodle on the cover and now I'm hearing whips and wind. So I'm like, this is going to be
whipping some
fantastic.
Poodles. This will be dope.
We're going to be whipping some poodles. Welcome to the Poodle Dungeon. So we get a shot of a house where two cops come and knock in, and it turns out to be the house of like a psychic who has helped them out, help the police in the past with like other cases, but at a huge cost to her mental well-being. She quit her job and is basically like a shut-in.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love the scene with the younger cop getting the pillow hit by the blanket monster that's actually Allie Oates. Mm-hmm. Like, they get into the house, there's like mail everywhere, the whole house looks like a fucking hoarder is like on it, and then like the younger cop goes upstairs and he accidentally like knocks a shelf down that breaks, and all of a sudden just this like ginormous thing of laundry, just a clothes monster comes out, and he gets the fucking snot beat out of him by this laundry monster.
He was gonna shoot it.
The pillow hit. Oh my dude, he pulls his gun out, he gets pillow hit and falls down 2 full flights of stairs.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Allie's fantastic. Her performance and acting is fucking great.
She is great. I actually really like her.
It is very weird how much I loved the characters, and I'm like, I want you in a different movie.
Yeah.
But like
I did want them in a different movie.
I feel like
I felt the character weren't enough for me. I didn't feel like the characters were memorable. She was good, but I didn't care for her.
I liked her, and I liked Jersey.
I thought it was but I felt like that was the tone for how I felt for this whole movie. And the fact that it started off, like, I'm surprised Ross isn't talking about the sound quality, because it's fucking horrific, that it was so distracting for me.
It's insane.
That I was like, and then there's like weird ADR, and then there's like, it's just like they completely like
in between their conversation, it's silence.
Yes, they completely knock out all noises.
And then sometimes there will be like no footstep sounds, or somebody will pick some up or drop something and there's no noise. And then other times it is like all over the place. The pinnacle
of direct to home video horror. Okay, so in all honesty, both times that I watched this was very late at night, and with my didn't want to wake up the household, so I had it on very low volume. So I missed probably all of these audio things because it was like not very loud when I was
particularly
watching
the opening is
this whole scene in this house
so off, like it's immediately noticeable.
Whatever
it's bizarre.
They were recording with audio on site that day was almost just unusable terrible. Because it's like they only pull it in when someone's talking. Yeah.
I do. Okay. I just to rehash on her performance, I really do like it because it's a really interesting aspect of using a psychic and then having like the mental, like how unearthing all of this shit and how like the toll it has taken, like helping the police, where it's like either other people, like she just has these horrific like PTSD fucking visions of like all these kids that she's like uncovered and shit, where it was like, I don't know, I thought the concept of that was really fucking interesting because it gave me almost like a Sixth Sense kind of thing where I'm like, oh, you're just haunted by these things now. So even if the case never gets solved, even if like they're still dead, so I'm assuming you're still connecting with them.
Yeah, that's impactful. Too bad she was introduced as a pillow monster, and like that doesn't hit as heavy for me. Like, because right after this, pillow monster scene, she's all upset, and then we get her like,
this is like if you took a serious movie and a schlocky movie, and they were half of a deck of cards, and then you shuffled them, and then like it's just got these weird notes of each one almost simultaneously. Jersey, the main cop, tries to convince her to help them out again, but she is like super against it. Even when the news case is revealed that an undertaker has had 3 children kept in his morgue where he only fed them the remains of the other people he was working on for burial. The mortician turned himself in, and he said he was taking care of ghouls in his basement.
True.
She's beyond over it. You know what I mean? Like she's been burning newspaper clippings and photos of past cases. Like she literally is like, I don't want this crap in my life anymore. This fucking hurts too much. So he's like, here's my card. I know you burned the last one, but feel free to take it. And then she decides to take a nap, and we get our first introduction to the level of special effects in this movie and what it has in store. And I was completely blown away. Like, I was thinking of, like, rubber suits, which we do get. We get fucking rubber monsters by the end of this movie. But she goes outside in her dream sequence, and we get a shot of this, like, little girl living, rotting corpse thing. Like, she's holding up her own, like, newspaper clipping. ugh. And then like she's like walking towards her, and then like oh god, then you think it's like attacking her, but she's just cuddling her and like giving her a hug, and like she's like patting her back and shit like that. I don't know, that entire sequence just creeped me the fuck out.
I thought that it's like the design of the little corpse girl was cool looking. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, whoa, that's like pretty good. Yeah, I thought this was gonna look terrible.
I was disarmed by how good the corpses are in this movie. Like the three ghouls, like kid corpses, I thought like the creature effects are fucking amazing in this. And yeah, this one got me for some reason because like I don't know, from Jump Street I'm like, I think it's like, oh god, zombie kid, and then you're just like, no, this is just a scared little dead kid trying to seek like comfort and shit like that.
I'd be like, ew, get off of you gross little dead thing.
And if this is just like the tip of the iceberg for this psychic,
I don't want a normal alive kid hugging me, let alone a dead zombie dead thing.
Like if this is like the tip of what, but if this is like what she deals on a daily basis, like I understand like she doesn't want to help anybody anymore. I also really like the fact of it's almost unnoticeable. It took my third go around to view it. There's a banner on like flowers. In the banner in real life says help them, and then in her dream it says thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Which I was like, that's fucking, I don't know.
And then she follows that, like that's how she looks at thank you, and then there's like a trail that she follows to the dead kid on the porch.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Chen is now interviewed on tape, and it seems that Allie is helping out with the investigation. Ooh. She got convinced. Chen relays that the ghouls are getting restless and he can't control them. They were his masters, like all of his ancestors. They've been retainers for 3 centuries taking care of these creatures. It's been his family curse to protect mankind from them, and if they aren't fed, they will feed on humans. The Kyoshi are or like undead ghoulies, and I like the fact that he says when they're full they can play possum pretty well.
Spooky.
Why wouldn't you get like one person, like a cop or something like that, and then show them eating bodies? Like, hey, look at these crazy instead of just turning yourself in and being like, here are these 3 bodies, I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't know. Thought of that.
Like that was my only thought where I'm like, I get why he did it because he's like, fuck it, and then obviously like he shoots himself, but like, God, if there's such a detriment to mankind, I feel like you would probably like leeway another handler into that fairly quickly. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, I got these 3 things in my basement, I want you to check it out real quick.
Just like fill it with cement or something.
Right. So, all right. Yeah. So Allie says there's feels something like weird about this one. And the mortuary Chen runs is a family run business going back generations. So she's talking about like, God, I like how she goes, fresh meat. He'd have an endless supply of protein. Just say like that. How it's written was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then she's like, but he could strip their backs and anything under the waist. It's like, I like how she's breaking
the way
down
she starts,
the practical application of like feeding ghouls for generations. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's great. You just, you roll them in, you strip them off the back. You could probably, salt that and let that, wait a little bit. That'll probably last them a little. Like she's like knows exactly how to feed a ghoul, a human over time.
Totally. Like, and she's totally biz cash about it too.
All I'm saying is someone has fed a ghoul, a human, over time before.
100%. And I think Allie probably does.
And that's the movie I want to see. I want to see, like, because it feels like this is like almost like an episode of some weird X-Files offshoot or something of like this group of people who've done this plenty of times, because it's so like matter of fact.
Yes. Literally stole the words out of my mouth. It's so matter of fact.
We're just brought into this world and be like, okay, all right. But, here we are.
I would absolutely watch a television series of Allie and Jersey as like a ragtag duo tackling, like almost like the Night Stalker series from the 70s was Kojak the Night Stalker. Like he just a journalist stumbling in just ridiculous shit would be fucking amazing. So after some cop banter, Allie agrees to take the case and they head to Webster Ridge County Coroner's, aka the Boneyard,
aka our mom's house.
Our mom's house.
I feel this way it's more inclusive.
By the way, when we started the podcast, our mothers all agreed to move in with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird. We didn't understand it at the time, but we realized it because it actually ties in with this joke.
Like,
They've been waiting.
Go
Now they
for
can
it.
move out.
Now let me text them so they can move out real quick.
you can go home now, Mom.
Which I like the fact that like just having a mortuary wasn't enough. Like they had to like they're like, well, we're about to tear it down in a few months, and there's a new fancier one down the way, so we just get the overspill, and we gotta. I like the fact that in this, I think I have it a little later, but like it's a skeleton crew on a graveyard shift working at the boneyard is basically what they're implying and what they say, where I'm like, that is just so fucking that's too on the nose.
Where are all the bones?
Right?
Where the hell are all these goddamn bones? Also, Chuddleman, we get into the building. We are now introduced that this is a goddamn Thanksgiving movie. It says Happy Thanksgiving, huge as shit across the entire fucking thing.
That's funny.
And
I missed both times.
Oh, yeah. There's some turkeys in there.
Yeah.
Little decorations here and there.
Thanksgiving stuff.
Technically, The Boneyard is a Thanksgiving movie. So if you'd like to play it during Thanksgiving, horror heads, this one I feel would be justifiably, by saying Happy Thanksgiving in it, would probably be a Thanksgiving movie.
Oh, yeah. Any excuse.
They sign it. Yeah, great excuse just to watch The Boneyard again.
Wow.
They sign in and we get some poodle jump scares and the amazing Ms. Poopinplatz, played by Phyllis Diller, who actually played...
His word to describe her.
What a name, too. Like, it...
Exactly. What is this character?
It again goes to how the tone just doesn't work at all. Like, this would work if it were like more of a screwball schlock fest, but it's not. So her name shouldn't be that. And then what?
Poopinplatz is such a fucking bizarre ass name for like, and how she's dressed. So here's a little behind the scenes. Is like, that okay? So
sorry, I was just gonna say it's like they're like, yes, that's her name, but it is not funny, and we're gonna treat it as such. Like, yeah, okay.
It's like having such a ridiculous name and then like playing it straight in all the wrong ways. Where like I felt like that was supposed to be like an airplane thing,
right?
Like that level of comedy, and then like it just completely fell flat. And they probably should have noticed that the first 10 minutes of filming, but I guess didn't.
Maybe it would have worked better if she wasn't so ridiculous. It's too much of like it's her name and her characteristic of being ridiculous too.
Be Poopinplatz and play it straight. Or have a normal name and play it wacky. When you have
Poopinplatz.
But like Poopinplatz is like literally a fucking cartoon.
You don't need double Poopinplatz.
We don't need double Poopinplatz. So when Phyllis Diller was trying out different looks for the character of Miss Poopinplatz, Diller's wig kept on falling off by accident, and Cummings encouraged Diller just to do the role without a wig and just do it with her natural hair, which she agreed to, and then later incorporated that lack of a wig into her entire stand-up routine. Like it defined the latter end of her like career with like her real hair.
All thanks to the Boneyard.
Thanks, Boneyard. So they get a viewing, and this is kind of really interesting too, because it's not like they don't, because of like actual logical reasons, they cannot physically go down to the bodies because they would be basically like corrupting evidence and a bunch of stuff like that. So they get a viewing booth with like cameras and shit like that. So they get into a viewing, and like Poopinplatz runs down the rules: keep quiet, keep out of trouble, and keep out of my hair because there's so little of it. Even when she says that joke, she laughs herself, and everyone in that group, you could feel them almost audibly groan. Like they're like, oh God.
You got Platz.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, all of them just want her gone.
Oh, what? Yeah.
But they're 100%. Also, aren't they also like a bunch of them like, who are you? Like,
yeah. Okay. Well, Allie like doesn't
never
know who she is.
Her, like, there's never that much like
but Jersey's known action her, and
at this time.
100%. And like Allie doesn't even know who she is. Whereas like Jersey's like, no, she's run the graveyard shift for 20 years. You just have always been here during the day. Like, I like how they try to explain how like, oh no, this kooky weird woman is just here at night because that's. Like,
so that was one of my big problems with this film, is that the times when it was kind of down times, I lost a lot of interest in this. I watched this movie like 3 times, and
Whoa.
because I did not find myself paying enough attention during like these moments, so it's not like it answered a lot of things when I went back and watched it necessarily, but I was like, I don't
know what happened.
I don't. And then I'm like, oh, special effects, cool. All right, maybe it took me 40 minutes to get into this movie, but maybe we're finally getting somewhere. It's going to be cool. And then it would lull back into something like this, like tone, pacing, all that.
It is. It's like the creature. I cannot stress enough that the creature effects are overwhelmingly too. Man,
they're too good for this film.
Yes, they're too good for this movie
until the very end. Yeah,
it's until the very end, and it's like it's mind blowing how good the special effects are. So we get introduced to Shepard the coroner, who knows Allie, and they start getting into the viewing of the kids, which is so fucking realistic. Like, it is like when they uncover the bodies of the 3 kids, it's like they're well done. The corpse of the kids, like the kids' corpses, are fucking great.
I don't particularly recall them.
Well, they're
to
through
me,
like
they
a
just kind
monitor.
of looked like Exorcist kids. Like they kind of looked like Reagan from The Exorcist, and I thought.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
Oh,
that's
like,
how
they're
I.
like how you envision them. Yeah, they're like semi-putrefied. I even like that, like the coroner, like Shepard literally calls them out halfway through, like, "What are we doing? Jokes about dead kids?" No, that's Jersey. Yeah, sorry. Jersey says that because Shepard just is like, "Hey, you've seen him so much, you want to take him home?" The only personal objects that are on them is just a doll, which we will definitely see later. But for Allie's powers to work, she has to like touch the kids, which obviously she can't do. So the loophole, I guess, for psychics is just to cut off a lock of hair. So we get the hair through like a dumbwaiter.
Which, I mean, makes sense. I would understand that she could hold a piece of hair and that could work for her, but why is that allowed when they're so worried about evidence? Like, it seems
Evidence
like cutting off of
tampering.
Yeah.
You figure like a lock of hair.
You know what? Little hair, nobody will notice.
Nobody's going to notice this. Yeah, and then with like a piece of joy from Shepard, Allie takes into a quiet room as Jersey kind of gives a breakdown of like how she got her powers and stuff. She gets like shades of feelings, and then the pieces start to kind of fall together as they start investigating. Apparently, like 8 years ago, she was dating some Canadian guy. She got pregnant. They split. She lost the baby and then had ovarian cancer, fought it and won it. And then she started having nightmares. And just like VHS 85, she started realizing that her nightmares were actual real events. And that's when she started going to the cops.
It seemed to imply that the chemo gave her like psychic powers.
It's weird. Like, they don't know if, but it's also like Jersey saying this to like the other guy. So like, they're kind of like, yeah, I guess this is what this is. I don't know if I believe in it. Do you believe in it? She helps out a lot.
Right.
And you're like, who? Okay, so then we get MacGuffin of a corpse into the lobby. So that the whole reason for that corpse being there is just to tell us that the doors downstairs are busted and the only access is from the top level.
Not the only reason also for revealed, that corpse being there.
Well, that'll pop up later. It's also revealed that the new coroner's office has taken most of the crew and the supplies, so they really are on a skeleton crew during a graveyard shift. And the body has come in as suicide by hairdryer in the bathtub. And they get word that Chen is now dead, blew his brains out. The stretcher gag I thought was great, where it's like, because they're arguing, the bolt comes down, and then like the cop and the delivery guy are in the elevator, and then it tilts off, and then like the goo hand like slaps the cop. I thought it was fantastic. Allie is alone and touches the hair as the cops take the body downstairs to the morgue, and we get like a hand twitch.
Do we?
So I'm like, yeah. So like, yeah, we get like a little bit of a hand twitch. You're like, oh, that girl ain't dead. But first, because this movie jumps around a whole fucking bunch, we get a full flashback. We get a full flashback ancient ritual of questionable offensiveness. It looks like they're rating one of a movie for the Chuddle Club because they're chopping off fingers and throwing them literally into a grave. As kids rise from their death, and then like Allie is now transported mentally into the meat locker with the fucking 3 kid ghouls and the other cadavers, and then sees the girl being brought in by the cops. The corpse is waking up, not Dana, but the corpse is waking up in this weird flash. The sequence is fucking great. Like they're like
sticking their tongue out, kind of yawning, like, oh, all right. And it looks awesome though. It's really great.
The creatures are great. These because they turn from corpse kids to these weird almost mummified eyes and I don't know. It's just they just look gooey and creepy and.
So I don't know how much to include these kids in the gore score. You know what I mean?
Oh, for me,
well, I don't
it's
think of them as gory, but
right.
There's certainly a part where they're ripping open and eating from a rib cage.
They're eating from they're eating intestines from a rib cage.
But they're
eating
already dead
parts.
bodies, right? So maybe that's why I wasn't seeing in it.
Yeah, but I guess yes, I can understand your viewpoint, but I would say for a normie,
sure, yeah, I get it, yeah.
Yeah,
that's gore.
I mean, dude,
totally.
just the the deaths of the ghouls too.
I need to start noting the gore
the
as I watch it and not try and recall it.
Yeah, I don't know, because I also added in the 3 inches of green goo in the elevator that they have to walk through barefoot.
I
closed my
but
eyes.
Then
ooh, interesting.
I know
gross.
it's not gore, but goo and gore are very cousins to me. You know what I mean? That I throw into the gorometer. Yeah, I do. But yeah, they start stretching, licking their lips, looking for the next snack. So she fucking wakes out of her trance and tries to warn everybody downstairs. The delivery boy leaves, and then we get a great jump scare. Holy shit, the dead girl about to get an autopsy is actually alive, and he cuts her neck, and then Dana just fucking pops up and starts screaming. Everyone in there and I, the first time watching it, went, holy shit. I knew that something was going to happen, not just cut her neck and she just jump up screaming.
Right.
Well, I certainly went, what is happening? Why? What did they explain what happened with her?
She just wasn't dead.
Why she was presumed dead and not?
These things happen. I think there's a line that's happens sometimes.
Literally, yeah. It's the level of incompetence
that solves it. Perfect.
That solves it. The level of incompetence that you have, checking for a pulse and then not God. That yeah.
Well, I mean, it could be weak enough.
I mean, the guy that brought her in, is very, I don't know, jokey about his job.
I don't think it's his job to pronounce people, dead.
So, I don't know.
Good. All right, yeah. So Allie needs the key to the basement now and snags it from Poop and Platts. The bodies aren't dead. Poop calls but doesn't get an answer. So Allie just swipes the goddamn keys from her and runs with the poodle in hot pursuit. God damn it. Her face when they are chasing her is fucking priceless. Poop and Platts and then just fucking yelling, "You fat bitch!"
Yeah.
And then the poodle leaves yelping was just it's like you had a horror movie and then you just added a Tex Avery fucking cartoon character in the middle of it. And that's what Poop and Platts is.
Mm-hmm. And then
screaming white meat, fetch. She's screaming out crazy shit. And then the dog runs into the elevator.
Yeah.
And then
she just goes.
When
so
the elevator
assuming
runs
Allie
out,
has been just beating
the
this
dog
dog.
was useless?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Allie
useless.
must have done something in there to scare it enough to run out. Yeah, whimpering. Maybe it was her psychic power.
Ooh, she did some shinin' stuff to the dog. All right, so Allie gets downstairs and sees the slaughter that is the morgue that I wish we would have seen. There's an entire slaughter fest that happens to all of the people working in the morgue shy of Shepherd and obviously Jersey. But it's I want to see that. You get to see the aftermath. So she grabs an axe and walks in on the corpse kids having an all-you-can-eat cadaver buffet with a side of coroner. This scene I love because it's God, part of me loves the fact that we're seeing the aftermath and we don't actually see these things start attacking people. But I also hate the fact that I didn't get to see that because I'm why? Out of all the things, why wouldn't you just have coroners just getting slaughtered like hogs?
Money, 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 money.
But yeah, probably. But the shot of these ghouls eating is so gross and great. They're hunched over the cadavers, and because they're played by children, they're so tiny. You know what I mean? So you've got the little girl holding her doll and in a full exposed rib cage, just eating guts and God,
it's gooey. They're pulling gooey, bloody goo and stuff out of cadavers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dead things, but you know, it's gooey.
Oh, for sure.
It's gooey, yeah. And then they all kind of make eye contact. She's like, oh, fuck! And then, like, runs out, and we get vent babies. I mean, technically they're not babies.
I
do
thought
get
that
some vent
immediately.
babies.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we all did. I'm happy. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I was like, oh, fucking vent babies. Yeah. Just like the scuttling. Oh my God, it was so fucking great. We get the doll play from the redheaded corpse child, which is also equally as fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's good. Like, again, this is the part where I was like, oh, shit. Okay. We're about 45 minutes into the movie. Okay.
Cool.
It's going to kick up and we're about to have a fun time. All that shit in the beginning, like, we're going to be able to overlook and be like, all right, here we go.
Yes. Like, this is initially like the steam was going. I'm like, okay, now the fucking, the boneyard fucking
I could
train
look past, like,
moving.
the sound design. I could look past all this, like, weird shit. I could, something was going to, like, I don't know. I wasn't vibing with it as much.
We're moving. Yes. But now we're moving. This is cool. This looks good.
Yes.
Fucking cop runs up and like shoots at him. He shoots one of them in the head, and you're like, "Oh shit!" And it's not dead. So I'm like, "Not great."
Doesn't do anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, the headshot that Jersey gets is like fucking. I'm like, yes, and then like it doesn't die. And you're like, oh fuck.
I love the way too that the doll just like pops up from around the corner, and then the little girl leans out with it.
She's like,
little
hey,
corpse girl.
Oh my God,
Creepy,
yeah,
effective.
So fucking good.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah, Jersey comes out, does the shot, and the survivors are locked in a room taking refuge. Shepard is fucked up, and then oh my God, Chen was right. I like the fact that they all realize like, oh, so yeah, he wasn't bullshitting. These are 3 fucking ghouls, and like, how the fuck are we gonna stop them?
This is also when I noticed the doctor's long ass ponytail he has.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw it in the. You see it at the end of the autopsy thing on the camera, but I was like, God damn, that ponytail is fucking great.
Like down to his tailbone.
Yeah.
And now we also now get introduced to Autopsy Girl Dana, and apparently it's not. See, this is where we get the like, how does this fucking even happen? And she's like, it's not the fault of anyone who took her pulse or pronounced her dead, and she's taking full responsibility for waking up. She's like, I am so sorry I woke up. Like, this is like, he's like, no, you were alive. Like, you
tried to kill herself, and yeah, right.
So fucking, yeah.
Sure.
Sure. And this after everything I've seen, I was like, sure, that's a logical explanation.
Like,
let's just go.
I thought it was going to end up being something more like mystical happening here that like brought her back.
Yeah, no, she's just
something like she has the. I don't know.
She just didn't die.
No. And then the people that are about to perform an autopsy, like I think, do people that like do autopsies make sure that the thing they're about to
do an extra check,
is
right?
dead? Like right? Don't you just like?
I don't think they do, but they should.
I mean, I'm in no position to think one way or another, but I would hope. I guess, yeah, right?
You are in no position to think one way or another what a magician does, Brian.
Right.
I'm not. I have no expertise in this. I've watched, like, my expertise is going to come from watching, like, Dana Scully do autopsies, and, like, I don't think...
I just think they're under the assumption that anything that gets sent to them probably is dead. Oh my God. All right, yeah, so
and these seem to be like forensic like doctors. These are more like the doctor the county, in the beyond, right? Like
kind of. What's the county morgue? So like they do full autopsies for police and stuff like that. So I'm assuming like they're pretty goddamn thorough.
Right.
Except for when it gets on the slab.
Except for checking for a goddamn pulse.
Let's start cutting.
Let's just start cutting, bro.
And why did you start cutting on the neck? I don't know if that's Again, I'm in no way an autopsy expert.
Maybe you're going to drain the blood first.
Well, I thought he was going to do a cut.
Maybe that's what they do to make sure they're dead.
Yes. Honestly, I thought he was doing like a face peel or something like that, where I was like, God, you're going to start there for this newbie cop? Like,
all right, let's see how she died. Let's rip her face off.
Let's rip her goddamn face off.
If it really was a fucking hairdryer in a bathtub.
Oh my God. All right. So Pufenplatz finds a spare key and the group realizes they can't make a call without the switchboard. But at that point, fucking Pufenplatz is already fucking gone and nobody's answering up top. They also kind of get to the conclusion that the Kyoshi may have gotten out twice, where it's kind of hinted that it was one entity and it has gotten out twice and is now like recruiting other corpses or people. And Allie is guessing it's trying to make more of what it is. Thankfully, Allie has the key ring, so they have access to all of the doors as Shepard goes through the evidence storage room and gets like a Resident Evil level game up. Like they walk in and it's just upgrades. My God. We got machine guns, which is fucking
let's see what we have in this
Gordon grabs
coroner's office.
Fucking ginormous machine gun is insane.
What is that gun?
It looks like
RoboCop.
it's from a video game. It's like space. It's like they took a fucking gun from a sci-fi film and was like, we could use this for this.
It's like
movie.
one of these scientists, like when they're not autopsying, has a little like gun hobby.
A gun enthusiast. And I love that that's conveniently by a huge fucking bag of homemade pipe bombs that they just have there.
These came in with some corpses.
Just, tipping it out. Oh, my God. So Poopinplatz gets downstairs. Here's a kid crying. And, of course, it's at the end of a hall on a chair facing the wall. And just like... Dog barks, which looks... God damn it. The dog barks, which makes this thing look at the fucking dog. And, like, that entire sequence is just gross and stupid.
Did it seem like it wanted to pet the dog? Like it was trying to get the dog to let it pet it and was upset that he didn't want to...
Can I pet that dog?
What a strange quality to give that creature. Like,
I think that's what's weird about it is because they're still kids.
The childlike nature, sure, which is interesting. But I do like the thing about in this moment where the kid has his back to Poopinplatz and he's sitting there eating that thing and like crying and he does almost like a little smirk.
Yes.
Because he's like luring her in and he's evil or whatever. That was,
cool.
That was a nice little touch.
That.
It was a nice little touch, dude. I do like that. Yeah,
it's a little here, there. And then he goes back to like eating and licking his lips.
Oh, yeah. So like the kids get stoked about the dog, forget about Poops as a second one tackles her. And I love this scene because it is clearly a wigged stuntman that tumbles with this corpse. It goes from Phyllis Diller to a dude who's about 50 pounds heavier, built like a shit brick house that just fucking rolls over this thing with this kid. I thought it was like audibly laughed out loud.
The second goal goes full fucking 50 Cent from the Super Bowl. By the way, it's coming upside down and like
upside down
behind Poopinplatz, and then it does. It's fun.
Oh my God! All right, so after some machine gun madness, they split up as Poops disarms one of the fucking ghoul kids by dropping all kinds of like acid and broken bottles and God knows what on top of them. And then it's like, what the hell are these things? It's literally a cartoon. I felt like it's like you could easily like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit thing. Like I felt like I was watching a live action movie with a cartoon just running around. I'm going to reiterate that a bunch for Poopinplatz.
Sure, yeah.
So this is going on. The redheaded corpse gets to the elevator, is fucking with the key and shit, as the kid cop fucking annihilates the elevator with bullets as Poops gets grabbed and gets snot brain dead goo rubbed into her face and mouth. Like, oh God,
so
that scene was like
fucking gross.
Fucking peeled off of its forehead. Goo. See, this is very much so. And
absolutely.
Like slapped into her fucking mouth, and then that turns like green, viscousy,
so
like
this is
chunky.
another thing, like I don't know where to put this on the gore-meter, right? Because it's not gory, it's just disgusting.
Gross. I feel like this would be closer to like the Harbinger talking about like gross shit, but maybe he talks about gooey stuff. I don't know, but I didn't think of that as gore, I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
God. Goo. If it's
no, because it's like because it starts off with goo, but then you like zoom in on it a little bit, and she definitely has some like kid kernels stuck in her mouth. Like it's just like, but the creature's dead. It is actually dead. So they're like, oh shit, we can actually kill these things. Same with the elevator one, who is basically child chili after 1,000,000 bullets have fucking ripped through this thing.
Yeah, with this fucking super gun.
With that goddamn super gun. And also at this point, it is covered in green goo. Like there is green goo and viscera
everywhere in this fucking elevator.
On this fucking elevator.
It's like from the ceiling, the walls, the floor. It's like rubbing. Stretchy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of like, gack.
It's gack. Yeah. It's gack, child chili, and hair is pretty much the entire thing that's all over this.
Cocaine, yeah.
But but now there's no escape to the surface as the elevator has ecto slime and wires everywhere. Like it is fucking just covered.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk through the vents and there is still one left out there, but Rookie Cop tries to get to the emergency hatch through the elevator and we get, oh my God. All right. So like just to double down on this elevator thing, the barefoot goo glops was so gross and so awesome.
It's the only time I've ever looked away. It lasts forever. And it sounds gross. Like it's the only time in any movie we've ever watched that I looked away. Just those toes going through that goo.
Can I get hey Brian, can I get a double goo on that? Yes, and that's what it sounded like as she was traipsing through 3 inches of goo. Like it was. Oh my God!
Yeah, you feel it between your toes. I mean, like
I
can feel
squishy.
it happening.
Oh God!
I'm gonna go film. No free feet. Sorry, I was gonna go film a video
of just the elevator scene.
just Sam.
Just with walking in Memphis.
But Sam has a feet thing and throw some goo on top of that. It's just the recipe for disaster.
It's like what are what's the thing when you talk like this?
ASMR. It's like anti-ASMR for you.
It was like ASMR foot gack.
It's the equivalent for most people of moist. That's what it was looking.
Yes.
That was like
if moist was on celluloid
moistness for people.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely 100%.
Major Jeff Goldblum vibes.
God, right? Yeah.
At his worst.
Walking through Goldblum.
Oh God! All right, yeah. So Gordon pulls up Dana, and they get in this weird like suicide prevention speech based off of just looks, and then like,
yo, this conversation was like surprisingly nuanced, and like she was allowed to have different feelings on it, and like talk to him about. This was not the movie or the scene for this, but like. I was like, damn, did this guy like try and commit suicide or have a daughter did or something? Like, how is this like so
I did like
well understood for this type of movie? Totally,
right? And like I like the line, I just let life fall apart on me. Like her trying to like justify what it's just, but it's also like, but like you said, it's so fucking out of place because 30 seconds before this, she was traipsing around barefoot in a river of slime. Like you're just like, come on now.
I just watched that happen. I was looking directly at it and did not look away. And it's like, it's so wild how she just puts like both feet so close together in that pile of goo. There's no trying to get around it.
she's like scooting through it. Like she's shuffling.
She wanted to, Sam. Sam, how does that make you feel?
Like, I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah. I'm gonna enjoy this. I mean, everything else is shit. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Oh, God. So while they're having this
between my toes.
Get your goo between my toes.
So between this like borderline PSA, Poopin' Platts is like barfing, like in between like projectile vomiting, suggests the freight elevator as the elevator shaft duo sees the third monster and escape through the vents towards Jersey. So Allie uses her voice as a beacon as the two find them, and the kid corpse comes out and gets extinguished before like they try like barricading the fucking vent. The tag team heads to the freight elevator with a fridge full of corpses, and they realize they need to destroy the chest. I like that this one, they're like, okay, well, how did you kill yours? I shot it in the fucking head. And he goes, no, I shot it through the heart. Isn't there something about like shooting evil through the heart? That whole thing was like, God, you were just beating a dead horse. We shot him through the chest. It's totally fine.
Shot through the heart.
Shot through the heart. And you're a Kiyoshi. I'll figure that out. I'll try to figure that out.
Kiyoshi, yeah.
To kill a Kiyoshi. We got the worst joke in horror history happens as the delivery guy comes in with a sheet over his head and is just like, I like the fact he goes, booga, booga, booga. Did I get you? You're seeing it from obviously their perspective in the elevator, but from his perspective back, it's all these people fucked up, bleeding, and there's gore everywhere because they're in the
all over
fridge.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like What?
It's a morgue.
It's a morgue. He's completely oblivious to the slaughterhouse. And hey, he brought back Chan.
Yeah, recognize him.
Jesus Christ. But we don't even get time to like recognize that because all that barfing, I guess apparently we get goddamn monster poopinplats.
This got me. I belly laughed on this one.
Oh my
This
god.
is hilarious. Yeah.
Puppet poopinplats is amazing. It kills the delivery guy, and in one fell swipe, and we get like automatic gunfire, laughing 10-foot tall ghouls.
She's like a giant now, yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, the schlock
The
has entered the building.
Yes.
It's got googly.
You've been waiting all movie. At this point, I had finally given up and been like, maybe that's just not in the cards.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it looks like a fucking Ed Roth drawing. Like it's like a rat. It's like a rat fink ghoul. Like it's got ginormous fucking like it's ginormous bulgy eyes. It's like, and it's also like Hulk Bruce Banner. So like the clothes are normal, and it's got like shredded clothes and like weird Phyllis Diller floppy boobs sticking out, and it's just God, the monster.
I mean, it looks like, I mean, I'd say Evil Dead at its goofiest.
Foam.
Like,
yes, yeah, like Evil Dead imitation of the goofiest Evil Dead look.
Yes,
the goofiest Henrietta is basically poopinplats in this, and the other close second is the ginormous fucking puppet monsters in Dead Alive. Like that's the only thing I thought of. It was like just these ginormous fucking things. Poopinplat's fucking puppet attacks the group as Jersey accidentally blocks the door, causing Shepard to have his head bashed in. This is very fucking just weird. Like they're shooting at her, but she's like using bullets in reverse and like holds the prop wrong, like we talked about before. Dana electrocutes fucking monster poops to death. And the scene with her giant long ass legs as this body is slumped over her, it's like Ghoul Hulk, and I just could not help but laugh the entire time. Like she's like, it's on top of Dana, and then it's just like 10 feet of legs.
That is funny.
Well, wouldn't you know it? The poodle eats some person pudding as Jersey wakes up, and we get this.
Oh, that was gross too. The goo from before. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this happened with you guys because having like obviously owning dogs. Having that like instinctually just started, don't eat that, stop it
Right. Oh, absolutely. First thing I thought.
God, yeah. All right, so Jersey wakes up, we got the heartfelt hand holding and BFF friendship, and apparently Allie's monologue was so heartfelt that it stops Jersey's heart entirely, and he just starts like and like blood shooting out of his mouth.
His eyes are like getting glazed and cross-eyed.
Yeah, it's like knocking at the door of overacting. We go full Aliens 2 and get a fucking forklift to break the hydraulic doors, but all that does is just create a bunch of broken glass because apparently the forklift can't get through the goddamn bars. But we do have the last kid that shows up, and we get a forklift impalement that was top notch. Like that fucking last monster getting fucking just chest pumped by a goddamn forklift was not on my bingo card for this movie, but it was fantastic.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Lots of green goo. And just in case you thought it was over, it's Poodle Apocalypse. The fluffiest fucking monster you will ever see comes crashing in. It's like a werepoodle. Like it's a werepoodle. It's so ridiculous that Dana starts laughing. I love the fact that the fucking poodle monster's like, ha ha ha.
I did like that it bursts in and they're all staring at it. And I'm already laughing, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And then the fact that it's like the movie admitting, like, we know that this is funny, so we'll have someone laugh at it real quick.
Absolutely.
Do it sooner if we want that tone. Like, make us laugh. Like,
how are you doing this in the last fifth of the movie? Like, and not even the last fifth, like the last 10th of the movie at this point, because it's got like 3 more minutes of runtime. Like, Poodle comes through and like they stumble into some like ladder access thing, and then the fucking floppy poodle paws that break through the door, and it's just rubber fucking hands at this point that are just like bending in the wrong direction and shit. Just ridiculous. It knocks a fucking gas line. The group gets to the goddamn roof as Allie sees the monster coming right for him. Damn dog! She fucking burns her bandage off of her that like sets the gas and the explosion goes fucking everywhere. And she just like, Allie successfully dodges it. The dog is dead and barbecued. I'm fine. I'll just kind of hang out here is what Allie says. But she hears more creaking and sees that goddamn dog in the vents. So she falls back into the building as the poodle goes after her, but conveniently she fell on top of a bag of pipe bombs. Mm-hmm. So she secures them to the hydraulic door and then plays fucking fetch with the werepoodle. And we get a yelp and one hell of an explosion. Rubble and a group hug after all the chaos. And hey, the lucky rabbit's foot. The end. Like, that's literally like, that's how it happens. Also, the fucking ending song for this movie is so out of place. It's like
dude,
it's like a weird, like, if you love anything, you gotta burn a fucking down.
It's like a brave heart willing to fight for one love.
Yes. It's like someone's cousin had a band and they're like,
uplifting rock music, I believe the caption was.
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god. Yeah, and I think we completely successfully excavated the entire boneyard. Do you guys have any final thoughts on this fucking movie?
Excavated our mom's boneyard.
Not until we get into, I guess, our final thoughts.
I mean, it doesn't know what it is. I think that's best expressed in how it was released in video stores.
The choose your own adventure box options,
and it doesn't commit to anything well enough to succeed at anything.
Yeah, except for the special effects. I would give it like the special effects weren't as good as they were.
But actually, I would say even that doesn't know what it is because of the ending special effects and the special effects throughout beforehand.
All right, well, I think it's time to feed the poodles as we take a small break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, I know that we've gone to the boneyard and we've been hanging out in the mortuary, but we also have a crematorium, and it's full of questions. We got a pit call? You got a pit call, Sam?
I got a pit call.
What you got a pit call?
Fetch this. Dun, 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 dun. Nice. Because that's our final line when she throws the pipe bomb to the doggy.
Brag guy?
Should have screamed white meat. That could be something. Or you got to go arf arf. I said it
logical.
Before. I'll say
fucking fantastic.
It's just the logical move.
Absolutely.
Are we surviving the boneyard?
Yeah. I mean, plenty of people do.
Yeah.
Most of them do.
Honestly, just with the machine gun, you should be completely fine. Which makes me lead to believe that, like, Chen should have tried a lot fucking harder to kill these goddamn things because, like, I feel like if there was a will, there would have been a way. Even acid. Like, get them full so they play possum and just dump them in a barrel of acid that probably would have done the job efficiently.
Did they have acid?
I've never worked at a mortuary. I don't.
Phyllis Diller hit him with some stuff that.
Yeah. Like beyond style that just kind of melted them.
I just like the answers. Yeah, throw them into a vat of acid. Do they have acid? I don't know.
Well, he's saying Mr. Chen should have,
as in like
rather than turn himself in.
I see what you're saying. Like, just started there.
If they were that fucking easy to kill by killing him in the chest, it's like he did not try enough. Yeah, I think we would all survive. With our chuddle powers combined, I feel like we would have some pretty decent odds. Maybe not against Werepoodle. I think once we get into like Phyllis Diller monster, like that's a little like she murked like 3 people in like under a minute. No, well, 2 technically, but
the old Dill monster,
the old Phyllis Dill monster.
I mean, we got a better than decent odds. Shit chance, whatever.
Better than a shit chance,
whatever they say.
That's we're saying that now. Mm-hmm. You guys want to make this film gooier? I know that we really harked on some of the gooier aspects of this movie. I would have loved to have seen them killing the rest of the coroners in the mortuary. I feel like that scene would have been fucking great.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, yes, I do, and I will bring my gore score down again. I think this is a good place to revisit it.
Up, but
I'll probably the consistency is still maybe a 1.
Yeah, because it's really only at the end I mean, not the puppet stuff, but before that.
And like again, I'm not thinking of the gooey stuff as the gory stuff, and then like there's some gooey eating of dead bodies. So what? I'll say that warrants a 3. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm happy with a 4 just because I feel I don't know.
I'm sticking with my 5.5. But yeah, no, I feel you.
I'm bumping up to a 4.
Good. All right. Sounds great. All right. So anything else you guys want to make a gooey or just goo enough?
No, more goo. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to do much to this.
All right.
It's very gooey.
Very gooey. All right. Villain power level of these Kyoshis. What do you guys got?
2.
Well, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, but I guess they do look cool.
I'd give it a 2 for coolness, maybe a 2.5. But I mean, 2.5 seems a little high, so I'll go 2. And power level is like a 1.
A 3.5.
So 3.
I'll give them a 3.5.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I had mine at a 5. Iconography was 4 for me. I thought these little creatures were fucking gross and awesome. Like the amount of goo they create.
I agree. I just don't know how memorable they'll be.
Right. I think they're gonna get muddied through time. I think I would remember them being cool, but as a standout.
Yeah.
Right. Remember that there were cool ghouls, not remember what they looked like.
Too cool for ghoul. Should it have a sequel? What's your sequel?
No. I think it needs a. I think it needs a remake, and I think
Brian, I have written here no, but it should have a remake.
I think Sam. I don't know if you got the same feel of what this reminded me of something like The Last Shift or Malum. That's how you could like. That's the way you make it scary or creepy. Follow that tone, but it's a Last Shift follows in a closing down police station. This is a closing down morgue. Right. Like you could do like something there.
I had just watched more time Autopsy of Jane Doe, so I kept thinking of that watching.
Oh, perfect. But yeah, focus more time in the morgue, be in the morgue more, and have more shit going on. And
yeah,
for me, the remake is either cut the Suicide Girl plotline and lean into the puppet stuff more and be a schlocky movie, or cut the puppet stuff and probably still kind of the Suicide Girl thing, but and lean into the ghouls,
or make it nothing but Suicide Girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
I also thought of a thing like just because of the creature stuff and everything. Like you could go like a Deadstreamy route. There is a way that the horror comedy could play. I think with this.
Yes.
Didn't.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I feel like it definitely doesn't need a sequel. I feel like if I was going to have one, it would just be Allie and Jersey tackling something else ridiculous, like a buddy psychic cop movie. Something just equally as disgusting.
Even though I liked them, I don't need to see them do something else. Another movie.
Right.
Hey, to each their own. I get it. Would you guys buy the soundtrack or score on vinyl? I can't even remember it. Besides, shy of the whip cracking intro and the weird butt rock.
There's gonna be a track of just silence. I'm okay.
Yeah, right.
No for me, dog.
Yeah. Action figures.
I mean, I don't particularly want them, but both of the puppets at the end would be cool. The ghouls would be cool.
Yeah.
Any of the creatures are cool looking.
I'd take the 3 ghouls, the 3 kids. I don't. The puppet things are cool, but I don't know. I think the 3 kids would be cooler.
It'd be funny.
Exactly. It'd be funny. I think I'd want, for the proper merch, I want the Miss Poop and Platts crazy.
Yes.
Coming over my desk or something.
Puppet. Totally.
Yeah.
I would probably, for action figure, it sounds weird. I'd have a diorama of all 3 of, like, something from, like, Sideshow, like, collectibles, like, the 3 of them eating bodies in the morgue. I thought would be just super gross and weird, like as a diorama. And absolutely for merch or prop, like the Poopin' Platts or the Poodle Puppet would be like 100%. Or to be totally honest with you, just that goddamn sci-fi machine gun that I could just put in a shadow box in my house.
Sure,
sci-fi machine gun would be a good one. It seems like the way the Poodle Puppet was made, it feels like that thing did not survive over time and is like disintegrated throughout filming. I felt like that's why they're only.
I don't even think it survived the movie. Like you can see certain parts where like it's barely surviving filming it. And you actually lead to a point is that this is also from behind the scenes at a certain point, and I couldn't really find any more information about it. So The shooting took place in Statesville, North Carolina in 1989 over the course of 5 weeks. In December of 1989, a botched special effect caused a huge fire.
Huh.
And I have no idea which. I'm assuming it had to be the end of the movie when they're using pipe bombs and the explosions with the poodle puppet.
There's explosion before that too, yeah, because there's 2 explosions with it.
But that's the only information I have from it. I have no idea, because I would figure that that would be hilarious that the poodle puppet just did not survive. All right, gentlemen.
Could be.
Let's go to our ratings.
Let's do it.
On this show, we like to use a rating scale of 0 to 5 fingers. Each finger represents a different quality about a movie. You can chop off half a finger as well as no fingers. These ratings are intended to be subjective on how we feel about a movie. It does not matter if the movie is objectively good or bad. So, let's make some Kyoshis and chop our fingers off and throw them in the grave. Bry Guy, let's start with you.
All right, Engaging's going to get a 0.5, sure. I'll be generous on it just because during the parts where I was engaged and thought it was cool, I was there. But like I said, it took me a few times to get through this movie. Sticky,
yeah.
I'm going to be generous again and give it a 0.5 just because, I mean, that fucking image of the poodle has been a cover I've known. It's stuck with me, and that can't not stick with me.
It's already done stuck with you.
It's already done stuck, but maybe some of the creature effects, Poop and Platt's creature and all that stuff will stick over time, but I don't see like a lot of the themes or really thinking about this much. T-shirtable, I mean, I feel like, again, I'm going to be generous and give it a 0.5 because there's certainly cool imagery you could put on a t-shirt. And I might be like, yeah, I'll wear a Boneyard t-shirt. That'd be kind of funny enough to wear one.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, no, I don't like the movie. But like, here.
But it's the Boneyard. It's your mom's house.
Yeah. Exactly. It'll say that on the back of the shirt.
It's your mom's house.
Right. That should have been the tagline.
Mm-hmm. Cockles, sure. Let's go ahead and give this a 0.5. I mean,
I'm surprised.
I don't know. It's only, again, I feel like I'm being generous. I don't think it warrants the full 0.
Sure. I try and be generous when I can. I mean, might as well give it the highest rating possible.
Exactly. That especially when we're coming into the point when it leans either between a 0 and a 0.5. If maybe it was between that 0.5 and a 1, I'd be less generous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, give it to it just because, again, I like some of the creature effects. I had fun with a lot of that part, and I had fun knowing I was going to not like this movie and have fun talking about that. Rewatchable, I am going to give this a goose egg. I don't need to see this again. I think a 2 is what I wanted this to kind of sit around, like to the point where it's like, it wasn't like the worst thing I ever seen, but it wasn't bad enough to be terrible. It wasn't good enough to be good. It just sits there and exists.
Right. And a little on the worse side than the better side.
Right.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that.
That's fair.
Sam,
I suppose you want me to do something with my fingers as well.
if you don't mind.
All right. Engaging. That'll be a 1 for me. I actually didn't have any trouble paying attention to this one. Never got distracted much. I did have to break up my viewings both times I watched it, so maybe that helped. Who knows? But yeah, I was into it. I like the characters and whatnot. Sticky 0.5, and that feels generous because I don't see myself long term remembering much from this, aside from maybe the puppets and the ghouls, but time will tell. I think on re-ratings, Sticky, we'll see where we go. T-shirtable is going to be a 0.5. Pretty much all the same reasons Brian said. There's cool stuff in there. However, I just don't really want a shirt. I mean, it'd have to be pretty cheap.
Like it's like you have like a Loot Crate subscription and you get a Boneyard t-shirt.
Yeah, sure. Like, I'm not mad about it, but I didn't really. Yeah,
not mad about it. I didn't want this, but I'm not mad about it.
So 0.5 there. Cockles is also going to get a 0.5. because while I was engaged, it wasn't like, oh yeah, it's because it's tonally just it's not even all over the place. It just
it's between two
doesn't
places.
hit any particular one well. So if it weren't for the cool creature stuff and all the goo, I would not have any cockles for it, I don't think. Although I guess I do, for whatever reason, kind of find it endearing that we just get sort of ordinary, like an old guy and a
like a lunch lady.
Yeah, that's our main characters.
Just ordinary people.
So
yeah,
I dig that.
Yeah.
Rewatchable though is also gonna 0 for me. I don't see any reason why I'd ever see it again. That gets a 2.5, which is fine. It doesn't seem high because I don't dislike it. Whatever. 2.5 is fine. Well, I don't really know. I don't have much of an opinion on this movie, so I guess that works.
It might go down on rewrites. We wait.
Absolutely.
We wait. Oh no, the
That's
we
sticky
wait
one. Mm-hmm.
All right. So engaging, I'm gonna have to kind of mirror what Sam said. I think I'm going with a 1 with engaging. I was engaged the entire movie, but I'm also going this from because I am a special effects freak. So like I will look over I will look over a bunch of shit if the special effects are great in the movie, which helped a lot for this fucking movie.
Sure.
Sticky is also going to get 1 because of the goddamn creature effects in this. Like I will absolutely, the poodle, poopin' plats will, like, there are Dead Alive tier fucking ridiculousness. See, this is weird because the rest of my ratings have to balance out because I gave a 1 for sticky and engaging.
No, they don't.
They gotta do whatever you want, man.
No, T-Shirtable is going to get a 0.5 because I agree with you guys. I think like it's, to me, I enjoy the movie, but it's like if I was gifted a Boneyard shirt, I would wear it. I don't know if I'd actively spend money to have a Boneyard shirt. Rare exception, maybe a yellow shirt with the poodle on it. Cockles to me is gonna get a 0.5, almost like it's like in that it's that it's that weird like almost 0.75 because I really did emotionally connect to this psychic where it's like, God, just the fucking horrific shit that this woman's seen and like how she's I don't know. There's something about that character that I just thoroughly enjoyed because it was an aspect of, I guess, psychics helping out cops that I just never had. But also,
I thought your cockles would have been a 1, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is, but it doesn't like what's hard. We've been talking about this, but like for cockles, the reason why it's not a 1 for me is that this movie is a great example of like an uncanny valley movie where it's schlocky enough, but I don't know. It's just, it should hit all the buttons for me, but it doesn't. It's like, it shuffles so many different things into this movie that I'm like, God, just fucking pick a lane. Like I would have loved a super schlocky version of this movie and I would have loved a super serious version of this movie, but having both of them, right. It weakened the sauce for me. Rewatchable is going, oh, man. I would actually sit back and watch this, but it's probably going to take a minute. So like, I don't want to give it a 0. So I will probably give it a 0.5. Like at a certain point, I probably will.
Because you plan to watch it again one day. Yeah. So it's got to at least get a 0.5. Yeah.
Solely 0.5. So what's that? That's got me at a
3.5.
Oh, man, I am going. I'll probably have to sacrifice engaging. It's a 3. Like it's my phantom finger is going to lob something else off. I feel like it doesn't.
I'm going to sacrifice sticky.
Yeah.
Because it's just the puppets, really.
It's just really the puppets. Yeah. I'd like 3.5, I think, is being too generous. I like the movie, but I think in the wheelhouse of a 2, 2.5, 3, like that's where this should be. This is where it should be buried in the boneyard.
I think 3.5 is probably more accurate for you, and you just don't want to admit to liking it that much.
Oh, no. I do really enjoy this movie, but I think the biggest problem I have, and it's, again, I'm not harking on other movies.
So why not a 3.5?
No, it's just, I give it a 3 because it's like, to me, it's like the new,
is it about how good it is or how much you like it, Ross?
What?
The rating.
The rating? No, it's just the uncanny valley for me bothers me enough that I feel like it does deduce points for me. You know what I mean? Like it's like the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie where I was like, it's way too adult to be a PG-13 movie, but it's way too kiddie to be an R-rated movie. So it made this very uncanny valley for me. And like even rewatching it, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching. Like I don't know how. Like I don't know. So 3.
Wow, that puts us all 2, 2, 5, 3. Climbs right up the ladder.
What does the club have to say, if anything, about this?
We have not seen this movie.
I remember the poodle. Where does the boneyard creep into our goo book?
Well, Sam got it right with a 2.5 is our average. That's what he scored, so he wins.
Yeah.
It sits with Child's Play 2. Oh, no. I was like, that doesn't seem right because we don't have a score for
that
Ross
doesn't have
yet.
Ross's score.
Okay.
Final Destination 5, Friday the 13th Part 2, and Malignant all sit at 2.5s. Right above it is Cocaine Bear and Caveat. Right below it is X and The Final Destination.
Oh, nice.
Take that, Ty West. Boneyard's
The Boneyard is
Boneyard's better.
than X.
Now that's a shirt I'd wear.
Is that our new tagline for like our podcast and everything? That'll like let you know.
Just remember, The Boneyard is a better movie than X.
And that's not saying we don't even like the Boneyard.
We don't even. That's on the back of the shirt.
But we don't like X either. I will say X is objectively a better movie.
Oh yeah.
In terms of like a framed
if you ask me
narrative
what
and
movie
film,
I'd rather watch more, I'd
Yes.
rather watch The Boneyard than X.
Right.
that's true. That's true.
All right,
Sam
guys.
would rather watch the. Sorry, I'm.
And on that happy note, that does it for the Chuddle the Club movie meeting for tonight. Follow Chuddle the Pod on Instagram and Slasher to stay up to date with the podcast. Follow moi, Ross Purvis, on Instagram if you want to see some of my tattoos, some artwork, fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can follow Chuddle the Sam and Chuddle the Brian on Letterboxd if you are interested in the movies that they're watching, and jump into our Discord if you want to participate in the show. You just heard us talking about what does the club have to say. You can comment, you can post, you can have your voice heard on this podcast right now. Not now, but in the future at a later time when you do it, we can read it. And you could be in an episode.
You guys can do that anywhere. I just want to throw out, you could email us your opinions if you want. You could write them on Instagram. You could do it anywhere you want. Sure. But the Discord's kind of where we just have that conversation a little more freely going.
It's a good place to have it all collected for us.
But we want it.
Just to make
you can give it
and just to make it super easy for you guys, the link to everything we just talked about is below in the show description. Brian, Sam, thank you so much for excavating the Boneyard with me tonight. Sight unseen. This is what I'm here for. And remember, until next time.
Thanks for taking me to the Boneyard.
Until next time.
Avoid the time loop.